In my previous video, I spoke a little bit about the Urfa man and how I connected it to the idealizing of one human being, idealizing other human beings, and how this, the oldest known sculpture corresponded to the, as close as possible to the real human-sized formation. Today, I'd like to shift the focus a little bit into the Jordan region, where they discovered a cluster of statues known as the AIN GHAZAL statues. Now, this was the largest cluster of statues that were discovered somewhere around 8 to 10,000 years ago. What is so unique about it is one cluster were intact and the other cluster were a bust, and they had to assemble it the best that they could. What is so unique about this cluster is that the way that it is made, it also represents the human form. It's not as tall as the Urfa man, but they are considered 1 meter in height. And once again, the formation, the structure in which it's made represents the human formation. How were these statues made? They were made using plaster from limestone. Now, in those days, about thousands of years ago, to model something using plaster was not an easy process. So how did they do it? They moistened the plaster, and they used the reed core extracted from the plants, and they made various parts of the body, like the torso and the arms and the legs and the head, and they modeled the plaster around the various parts, and they assembled the entire body together. Now, over time, the reed decomposed and disintegrated, and what was left was only the body of the plaster with nothing but hollowness inside. Now, these statues to remain intact, most of them to remain intact, is a great discovery after so many thousands of years. Also, another distinct feature in these statues is the eyes, the irises. They were clearly defined, and similar to the Urfa man, they used the obsidian to represent the eyes. Similarly, in these statues, the irises were clearly outlined, and the other features of the body, they were clear that this is a man, this is a woman, and there were some children also. Now, this is known as, it is said, it cannot be proved, or there is no concrete theory, but it is believed that this is the largest representation of the ancestors of a village. Now, for human beings to come up with a production, let's say, of production of art on such a large scale, this was the first ever discovery of something that was produced multiple times using art. This is how I wanted to connect art with this discovery, and connect it with, once again, the progression of the human species, and I wanted to share that today. Thank you for staying tuned.